Okay, madam, come. You need to unmute your microphone.
Okay, because just now there's a lot of echoes. Okay, I can hear you now.
Puan Norlida, you need to unmute your microphone.
Madam, cannot hear you.
Maybe you can unplug your earphone so that
Okay, I'm trying to find home. But now it's like something hold on. Get out from here. All right. Okay. Hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you.
okay.
Yes, we can hear you. Yes. Okay, so I'm using my handphone now at the moment. All right. Okay. So congratulations, yeah, Aiman. Okay, so a few things. So I think we can start with your title.
Okay.
So I was wondering the title, the use of video apps, because you are talking mostly about FLIPGRID, yeah. Right. So I was wondering if you go straight to, instead of saying video based apps, to straight away to the use of the
FLIPGRID.
use of FLIPGRID to improve
Improve.
confidence level. Yeah, because you're not if you use video based apps, so you're not we don't know what you are focusing on, but you are talking about FLIPGRID, right? So you go
Yes.
straight to FLIPGRID instead of talking about video apps. Yeah.
All right,
Okay.
sure.
All right. And then I find that your introduction is not very thorough. You need to introduce your topic. Okay, so you need to talk about uh, why you need to use FLIPGRID and so on in your study, not just talking about it in general. Okay, so I think you need to improve on your introduction. Okay, because I think it is too short. Okay, also improve on the background. Okay, of the study. So your 1.3 on page. If you look at 1.3, yeah.
Should I share the screen?
Yeah, please.
Yes.
Okay.
Page 1.
Wait, how am I going? Kejap doktor. Is it this one?
Page 1. Talk about the yeah, so you talk about the background of study, right? Background of study, okay. And then you went on to talk about the study aims to explore, blah, blah, blah. All right. And then you have 1.3 polytechnic students. I think that 1.3 is actually part of your background of the study, right?
Yes, yes.
So it should be 1.2.1.
Oh, okay. Right.
So the same goes for your technology. So that should be 1.2.2. Yeah. Because they are all under the background of the study.
Yes. Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Video-based learning also 1.2.3, I think. Yeah. So
All
all
right.
the
Okay,
things
sure.
that comes under your background of the study is actually part of your background of the study. It's not a new topic. Okay.
Okay, sure.
All right. Then okay,
Change.
when you talk about technology, yeah, when you talk about technology, 1.4 is it?
Mm-hmm.
All right. You talk about the technology in English language and so on and so on. If possible, try to link it to your problem. Okay, try to link it to the students in Polytechnic. All right, not just talk about things in general, but be specific to your case, to
Okay.
your research. Okay, so link that to your research. So okay, so you say that teachers should introduce new approaches and so on. So how is it being done in the Polytechnic? All right. Okay.
You mean I need to tell about the tools that we use, the technology tools that we use in Polytechnic or grid in Polytechnic?
The tools, because you are talking about technology.
Okay.
All right. So try to because this is like in the in general first before you go to a specific, which is the FLIPGRID. All right. So the technology that you have in the polytechnics, yeah, but you
Okay.
have to link it to your problem. Don't talk about it in general. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Like in Polytechnic, we are using e-learning sites like LMS e-learning sites like CDOS. So I'm going to explain those under this technology.
Yeah, do that. Yeah, do that. Okay, because you need to link to your study. You need to link to your problem. Okay, so that is the background of your study. Okay, all right, and then some of your review like Olivero, Sui. Okay, I think they are too old because it's 1970s, 1996.
Yes. I noticed
It's
that as
like
well.
yeah, 50 years ago, so things have changed. Okay, so our students, technology have changed. Our students have, I'm sure they are more techno savvy than before. Yeah. So you need to replace them with newer literature review. All right.
Sure.
Okay. So and then looking at your okay, before I go to the research question, perhaps Dr. Amin would like to say anything?
Okay, can. Okay, Aiman, congratulations. Okay, to you because you have come this far. Okay, Aiman, can we go to the title page first? Okay, Aiman, can you identify your IV and DV?
Independent. Okay, my IV is video-based apps, which is the FLIPGRID, and my DV is the confidence level which I will evaluate it on their fluency and also non-verbal cues,
Okay.
the confidence level during presentation.
Okay. From the title, what I understand is there will be two DV. Okay, confidence level and oral presentation, individual oral presentation. So if you are focusing on the confidence, okay, and then if you are not, your focus is which one, Aiman?
Actually, my focus is on their confidence level when they carry out their oral presentation. The
Okay.
confidence level.
Okay, so maybe you need to rephrase that. So because from the title, it is confusing. Okay, as if you have two DV. Okay, I agree with Puan Norlida. Video-based apps you should replace with FLIPGRIDs. Okay, okay, and then you are going to do a quantitative research or need research.
It is a mix of quali and quanti, because I will start with observation and then only develop a rubric that comes with the pre and post test. So with the rubrics only, I collected data for the quantitative.
Okay, you will have qual or qual.
Qual-quan.
Qual-quan. Okay.
Experience.
For the quantitative part, do you have a instrument? I don't see any instrument in your
Yes. Okay, actually I forgot to submit it. Can I show it right now?
Okay.
Can I show it? I have a rubric.
Maybe after this.
Okay.
Okay. Can we go to the introduction part first? We go chapter by chapter. Okay. Okay. Actually, Aiman, when you do your introduction, you are going to introduce your title there. Okay, around 1 to 2 pages. You need to bring up the issue related to the current issue related to your title. Okay, FLIPGRID, the confidence level, the oral presentation. Okay, before you go into the background, okay, the background is a further elaboration comprehensively done in chapter 1. So the component that you should have in your background should be your IV and DV. I think the polytechnic students, if you have some points related to polytechnic students, maybe you can put it in chapter 2. But here, this I think you should introduce here is polytechnic syllabus or polytechnic assessment or polytechnic education based on English, so that when a reader read, they have a clearer. We don't want to know about the student, because you're focusing on the title.
Okay.
And then we normally in chapter 1, we don't have any diagram, any table. We don't have that. You want to put any diagram or table is further elaborated with support in chapter 2.
Okay.
So as for me, I think the subtopic for your background should have your FLIPGRID. Before you go to FLIPGRID, you introduce the video-based learning, and then you go to FLIPGRID, and then you comprehensively describe about FLIPGRID in the background.
All right.
But
Okay.
you will go in depth in chapter 2. And then what is missing in the background is the confidence. Okay, you have to relate the confidence with the oral presentation.
Because I have already explained in detail in chapter 2, so that's why I thought that in chapter 1 I only focus on the title itself, because if you look at my title,
is briefly discussed, only briefly discussed in the background.
Yes.
Okay, so in chapter 2 you will thoroughly discuss about
Okay.
the confidence. Okay, And then can you about the problem statement? What is the problem here? What is the real problem, Aiman?
The real problem is the students are having trouble when presenting in front of the class, if when carry out oral presentation in front of the class. So that's why I'm highlighting that in tertiary institutions, students are very apprehensive, unwilling to communicate. They are feeling anxious, fear of being negatively evaluated, and all. I think all my
Okay.
problem statements related to they are not feeling confident enough to present in front of the class.
Okay, it's good. It's good. Okay, but you need to support your problem statement with statistic
Aha.
so that to show that there is a real problem there, and then you need this research to be carried out so that you can find some solution for the problem.
Doctor means statistic from the polytechnic or statistic in general, like from
Okay,
other studies?
if possible from the polytechnic. Okay,
Oh,
if you
okay.
cannot find polytechnic, maybe from other higher education or related to that lah.
Okay.
Okay, can you scroll down? Scroll down. Okay, okay. Research objective. Okay,
Mm.
now, which one is your qualitative research and which one is your object? Which one is your qualitative objective and which one is your quantitative objective?
Actually, for research question one, for the objective one, quali and quanti comes together because to get first the lecturer need to observe their fluency and feelers, fluency and non-verbal cues, and then only they will give marks based on the rubric. So observation is quali, and the marks given by with the help of the rubrics would be the quanti. And for research question two is the interview. So this is the quali.
Okay, I think you should find a suitable verb to represent your first research objective. Okay, to study. What do you mean by to study? Okay, normally for qualitative, we investigate. Okay, I'm not a qualitative person, but maybe later Dr. Amelia can give a suitable or recommend a suitable verb to represent. Actually, it is very important for you to be very clear in your research objective. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And then another thing is you want to do a quantitative here. How are you going to carry out this quantitative? You just give the questionnaire, and then you want the student to answer.
Pre and post test. For the pre-test, I will give marks based on the fluency and non-verbal cues based on the rubrics. And then after the intervention, they will be having the post test.
So you will be doing the qualitative first, and then the pre-test, and then the after the post-test.
Yes.
Okay. I don't know. Normally, I see student they do their pre and post experimental method and everything, and then after that you do a qualitative to consolidate your research. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, so I think the way you write your research objective and research question is not clear. Okay, because when you define your research objective, research question, and then if you have your quantitative, there should be an hypothesis.
Okay. I was thinking that as well because I start my research with the quali first. So I was wondering if I need to have a hypothesis.
I think you need to have hypothesis to show that it is a quantitative research.
All right.
How are you going to observe? How are you going to present the data later?
Mm-hmm.
To
For
show the pre and post result.
okay, can I go to my chapter 3 for a while?
Okay.
This one. Wait. Okay. All right. For my research design, I actually use an exploratory sequential design, which in phase 1, I will be using a qualitative data collection first, which is observation. I observe their presentation, and then by the observation only, I come up with the rubric because we want to know what are the scopes that we need to measure the students. So we start with the quali, and then only I come up with the rubric, and then for the third phase only we come up with the quantitative, where we will assess the student based on the rubric that I have made earlier.
What type of test are you going to use during the phase 3?
It is actually an oral presentation.
No. What I mean here, are you going to use SPSS for
Yes.
phase 3?
Yes, for this quantitative, which is to measure the marks, I will use SPSS to analyze the data.
Okay, can I interject? Dr. Al-Amin, thank you very much. I think I see your point. Aiman, Dr. Al-Amin has raised a very good point. If you have a quanti data, you need to have a quanti question. I just realized that you need to have a quanti question.
For the observation, you mean?
No. For the pre and post test, you need to have that quanti question. Even though you do a quali first and then a quanti, because at the moment your RQ are all quali. So Dr. Amin has pointed a very valuable, because if you don't put a quanti question, it feels like there's a disjointed somewhere.
Okay.
Isn't that right, Dr. Amin?
Actually, for the presentation, for the pre and post, I have an instructional paper for the students to refer to.
No, it's okay. Whatever method you have is okay, but you need to have a quanti RO and RQ. At the moment, you have instrument, but you don't have RO. Then people will ask you, where will you get, which question will this instrument answer? So if there's no tally, never mind, we'll talk about it. But Dr. Amin has raised a very important point.
Okay.
Research will not be tally. That's what Dr. Amin is saying. Okay.
All right.
Sorry. Okay. Continue.
Okay. I think your method is okay. When you show phase 1, phase 2, and phase 3, the only problem is in your research objective and research question.
Okay.
So maybe you need to figure out what are the tests you want to use for the quantitative research. Okay. Normally, if you are going to use a pre and post test result, then you should have one hypothesis to show that there's a difference between pre and post. Okay. Can you scroll down chapter 2, chapter 1 for your significant? Go to the definition of operational definition.
Okay. So before that, Dr. Amin, can we talk about the research objective and research question?
Okay.
All right. I feel that she needs to put in to replace, instead of video apps, to replace it with FLIPGRID. Sorry.
Okay. Sure.
Yeah, after using FLIPGRID apps in terms of, all right. So because if you use video based, it's again, it is too general, because you are talking about FLIPGRID, right? Yeah.
Okay.
All right, so we can continue, Dr. Amin.
Okay, Aiman, you need to polish up your research question and research objective. Okay.
All right. Sure.
I will suggest that you have a table on your own table. You have the research question, and then you have your research objective, one column, and then you have your research question, one column, and then you have the testing or method of collecting the method of analyzing.
Okay.
So when you synchronize one RO, one RQ, and the
The
then
method.
you will know the how we are going to
Okay.
do the research. Okay.
Okay, sure.
Okay. Puan Norlida, do you have anything regarding the significance of her study?
Okay, the significance of the study, I think okay, the last two paragraphs, okay, the last two paragraph, I think it shouldn't be there. That should be under the limitation of the study. It is not significant. If you see, however, the study only focus on fluency and non-verbal cues, right? Okay, so okay, so that is in addition, this study could only focus on semester 1. So that is not significance of the study. That is more of limitation of the study.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. And then, what is the difference between sorry, the delimitation and limitation?
I've written it somewhere.
Delimitation of the study. So what's the difference actually? People use limitation of the study, right? To
Yes.
delimitate something is you want to overcome that limitation, correct?
Yes, yes. Actually I've written it somewhere, but I couldn't find it.
Okay.
Um,
Back to significant, Dr. Amin, do you have anything to say?
I have nothing so far. Okay.
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 So I'm just wondering delimitation and limitation. Okay. So what's the difference?
kejap doktor. Madam. Sekejap. Searching for it.
It's okay lah. It's okay. Okay, Aiman. Maybe perhaps you can you can
Itu
type
soalan
down.
bonus tu, soalan bonus pening tu.
Oh lah, cepat mai pula.
Okay, because usually people put down
Ya Allah,
limitation,
hilang.
right? I
Okay,
seldom
okay.
see people write down delimitation.
Alright.
You can type that up later. So we go on to operational definition.
Okay.
All right. Usually when you operationalize your definition, you need to like quote from somebody. All right. So
Okay.
by whose definition this thing that you are talking about. Okay. You have you are missing on fluency. All right. So if you talk on fluency,
Okay.
by
No
whose
quote.
definition
Alright.
is fluency? Yeah. So who defines fluency is such and such and such. Okay.
Okay. Madam, just now limitation and delimitation, right? Okay. Limitation, what I wrote here is something the researcher cannot control. And delimitation is something that we can control. So I think the one that I wrote here is something that we can control, like first I'm using semester 1 students and what are the reasons why I'm using them. Do you think that's correct?
But usually limitation to your study is something that you say that you only use students from one class, from one course in polytechnic, in one polytechnic. So you cannot generalize it to the rest of the polytechnics. So that is your limitation. Another limitation would be because of the length of the study, for example. All right. And then you mentioned something about the level of the students because they are first year, first semester. So their proficiency level is not the same, correct? So that is also another limitation because you cannot choose, for example, just intermediate level or just beginning levels and so on. Yeah.
Okay.
You also mentioned that some students they don't have like they don't pay attention, or they don't put much effort into the study, that is also limitation, because you cannot
Limitations.
control them, because it is outside, it's not in the classroom situation where the instructor can sort of control, right? So that is
Yep.
more like it gives some problems to some limitation to your study, but those are the things that you cannot control, correct?
Yes.
So I think yours should be more of limitation, not
Limitation.
yeah?
Okay. All right. Sure.
Okay, anything else?
Okay.
Okay.
No codes.
Okay, no problem. Okay, dah selesai dah tu. For Norlida dah
Okay.
tentu dah. Okay, settle.
Okay, all right. Okay, and then we can go on to chapter 2, right?
Yes, yes.
All right. Okay, so chapter 2, at first I thought that you do not have to talk about in too much detail about the other apps, but then when I see that you are trying to show the disadvantage or the shortcoming of these other apps as opposed to the FLIPGRID, so I thought it's okay lah. Okay, finally, because you want to establish why you are using FLIPGRID instead of Instagram and
Other.
simple chat, WeChat, and so on. All right. So finally I say okay lah, it's all right. Okay. But
Boleh saya tambah sikit kat situ, Puan Norlida?
sure. Yeah.
Okay, actually apa ni, Iman, okay, about FlipGrip, do you have to explain more? Other apps, you are from your writing showing that other apps are also important, and then your research is focusing on other apps also. So I would suggest you have one brief page regarding all the WhatsApp, WeChat, and other apps, but focus a very depth explanation on the FlipGrip.
Great.
Yeah.
Not enough lab, tak
And-
cukup ni.
Because you know what, you are going to, but FlipGrip, you try to focus on the discussion on how the FlipGrip can enhance the learning process, especially language. Okay, this will help you to explore more about FlipGrip.
Okay.
Right. What else is missing? Okay. About the past studies.
Past studies, okay. Past studies.
About the past studies, okay. Usually when you talk about past studies, all right, you need to explain, okay, or state where the study is carried out, okay, which country, for example, or which state in Malaysia, or which university, and then you need to briefly explain who are the respondents, okay, university students, secondary school students, and so on. And then you have to mention how many of your respondents, okay, and then you have to talk about the level or the age of the respondents, and finally the findings. If you notice, in the beginning you just mentioned, you said a study carried out by Watkins on the video blogging, and then he highlighted, that's it. There's no how many, there's no findings, there's no level. Okay, also by Hang and Huang. All right, you said the students' presentation performance improved. Okay, and more substantial presentation improvement. Again, there's no brief explanation of the study. See,
Okay.
right? So it would be good if like one paragraph or one study where you talk about who are the respondents, what level are they, how many, and then the findings. All right. Just like when you okay, can you scroll down? Can you scroll down under mobile apps? Okay. Here you did mention, for example, study, all right, 10 adult participants, okay, interacting. So at least you mentioned how many, all right, and then you mentioned the findings. So something like this, all right, which is missing in the previous one, 34 intermediate students, okay.
Okay.
Intermediate students, but what level? Is it like university level? for secondary school level. Again, it is not specified
Mentioned.
here where in Malaysia, in Singapore, in Brunei, we don't know. Yeah. So you need to be more precise on talking about the studies that you are looking at. Okay, but again, and also it's not enough. I think on the past studies you need to find more. All right, and you need to take out the old studies because if they are too old, it becomes outdated, and then you know how technology, change, overnight. Correct or not? All right.
Yes.
So you need to have newer studies. Okay, so you need to find more studies, and also you need to find studies about polytechnic. Right. So what are some of the problems? I'm sure there are other studies about polytechnic students. Yeah.
Okay.
And also in your literature review, you need to, like Dr. Amin mentioned just now, you need to talk about the polytechnics English, because it's not being tackled in chapter 2. There's nothing about how English are taught in polytechnics, what are the courses that they have to take. And also you need to talk about this course that you mentioned, MPU 22053. You need to describe what is this course, what is the syllabus, that diagram that you had in chapter 1. You can transfer that diagram into chapter 2, and then you talk about because your study is about polytechnic students, so that is your niche area. So you need to highlight that. Yeah. Why it is important to teach English for the students to have how to say, to improve their their oral presentation things and so on. Yeah. So at least write in detail something about, describe your course MPU 22053. Okay, what is the objective? Okay, what are the contents, and slightly what is the syllabus? What are the things that they have to do and so on?
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, Dr. Ahmad.
Okay. Iman. Okay. I see here in your chapter 2, you have a few theories related to your study. Okay, and then you have come up with one theoretical framework also. Okay, I think for your stage, you are doing masters, isn't it, or EDD?
Yes.
I think
Masters.
masters. I
Masters.
think for you, just concentrate on one most suitable theory, and then relate it to your research. Easier for you. And then normally, when we are doing a theoretical framework, it should have a arrow pointing.
Arrow. Oh.
So is it top down or bottoms up? Your theoretical framework here.
From the top to the down, top down.
So normally the theory or whatever framework we have in our research, we go from left to right. Or did you quote from somebody else this diagram?
Nope. I refer to other papers. I didn't
So
quote.
I think better for you to just concentrate the most suitable one, and then focus on that particular theory enough already for your study.
Okay.
Otherwise, you get mixed up. Mayer's cognitive theory, Mayer's
Yeah,
Erickson.
Erickson's theory of deliberate practice. I don't see it being discussed in your research question or research objective. So you don't need to have.
Oh, okay. So Erickson's is just like a supplementary to because when they are using FLIPGRID, they are using a lot of this attention, rehearsal, and repetition, and so that's why I think that this theory is necessary to be there.
Then you have to choose which one, Erickson or Meyers.
If as a whole, then mayors is more suitable.
Ah,
Then stick to
hmm.
this.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Another thing is, whenever you take a diagram or figure, you should acknowledge the source. Okay, like your figure 2.2, page 40. Okay. Uh, is it your own figure or you code it from somebody else?
I code it from Erickson's paper
You have to put it in the below.
down
Okay,
here.
figure.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
Right.
okay. The most important thing in chapter 2 will be your conceptual framework, your page 42.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. There is no arrow pointing which direction. Okay. So try to don't try to do a very simple conceptual framework. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Your try to point out your IV and DV. Okay. It will be easier for you to explain and easier for the reader to understand also.
Mm-hmm.
And then when people look at your conceptual framework, they will see the research objective and research question already.
Mm.
Okay?
Okay.
So don't do complicated conceptual framework. Do a simple one so that you won't get complicated for you to do the explanation.
Mm.
Okay?
Okay.
Okay, Puan Norlida?
Yeah, okay, chapter 2. Okay, okay, can we go on to chapter 3?
Okay.
Okay, talking about your pre-test and post-test, okay, that is your instrument, right? Your research instrument. Okay, you need to mention who validate, how you validate the pre-test and the post-test. That is, if I'm not mistaken, your pre-test and your post-test are different, right? It's not the same.
Sorry. Mm-hmm.
Your pre-test and post-test.
Uh-huh.
The questions are different, right?
Quite similar actually.
Similar,
Uh,
but they are.
for the pre-test, they will have an instructional paper where they will carry out an oral presentation in front of the class. So actually, they are quite similar with the post-test.
Okay, post-test is about.
Post-test also, they have to carry out a presentation, but the topic they can choose on their own. So probably the topic for pre and post-test might not be the same because up to their preference. But we only want to see whether their confidence level has improved from pre to post.
Okay, you are measuring confidence levels by looking at
At the evaluation rubric.
so you need to include the rubrics because
Mm-hmm.
we don't see what is being measured here. Yeah. Okay.
Can
So
I show the rubric?
rubric. Do you have the rubrics in the?
Yes. Can you see it right now?
Oh, all right. So where did you have this? Oh, okay.
Okay, so this is the rubric which I have already adapted and adopted from some sources. From the rubric, I'm looking at first rubric is on fluency, which only on the fillers and pauses. And the second rubric is about the non-verbal cues, which are on eye contact, gesture, facial expression, and also articulation and clarity of voice projection, which I have mentioned in the objectives just now. So but I haven't piloted this rubric yet since I take it from a few sources.
Mm-hmm. So
Yeah,
who validate this?
I haven't piloted and nobody validated yet.
All right. So you need to have this validated, yeah. Checked by someone. Okay. And then you need to have it piloted, yeah, to see the What?
Actually, for this fluency, for fillers and pauses, I have another rubric which is this R counter.
So you are going to
Can you
count
see
how
this page?
No.
Oh, cannot.
Cannot.
Set. Where should it start? This one.
Alright.
Okay, this one is for the fluency, for the fillers and pauses. So I'm using the R counter, which is from the Toastmaster rubric. Here, every time the students presenting, so I have to count their fillers over here. But still, this rubric I haven't piloted yet because I want to make sure that the fillers they are using is appropriate with the Polytechnic students, whether the Malaysian students are using this kind of fillers. So based on this rubric only, then I give marks based on just now rubric on fillers, pauses and fillers.
All right. So I'm just asking a question here. So if you in the pre-test, okay, you're going to look at the students and then you're going to count how many. All right. And then for the post-test, you're going to look whether the fillers have reduced. Is it?
Yes. Less
So
fillers and
if the
pauses.
fillers are less pauses, less fillers, so that means they are more fluent,
More confident.
more confident.
Like here, if they get four is the highest. So less than 10 vocalized pauses, they will get around these marks.
Okay, so you need to discuss this somewhere in chapter 2 then.
Chapter
Right?
3, chapter 3, yeah?
Chapter 2 also, like how
Chapter 2.
yes, because chapter 3 you're talking about your rubric, yeah. But in chapter 2 you need to talk about like fluency, and then you did talk about it, but it's not in how to say, it's not extensive. It has to be more extensive when you talk about fillers and so on, yeah.
Okay.
Because you are going to use a tool. You're going to use that checklist, yeah. Okay.
Okay, sure.
So later on, you need to say, who validates it. Okay, how are the rubric developed? Okay, how did you develop it, and so on. Yeah. Okay. Then, when you talk about your respondents, when you talk about your samples on page 54,
54?
45.
45.
45.
45.
Samples.
Okay, so all right. So when you talk about your respondent, you need to mention how you select the students for the interview.
Oh yes, I forgot to mention actually.
So you need to mention why 6, how they are selected, okay, and like maybe 3 males, 3 females, or why the magic number 6. Okay, so you need to describe that. And also your class, also you have a control and the experimental group, right?
Sorry, madam?
Because earlier you mentioned about the 2 groups,
Two groups.
group and experimental group, yeah?
Yes. Okay, that one I'm trying to explain here. Here I showed that okay, there are from diploma, digital, and were divided into 2 different tracks. Okay, what I mean to add here is both group of students actually from the same polytechnic. However, they are from different departments. So these students, they do not meet each other because even when the lecturer they want to teach English classes, they have to go to different departments. Not although the same course, but one is from software and one is from networking track.
Okay. Are they similar in some ways,
Yes,
or are they like different?
they are similar in the sense of both are semester one, both taking IT, so they have no problems using these video-based apps, and both are from intermediate levels and no streaming. So the samples are quite similar. The only thing that I'm not using because when we are using quasi, most of the research we are using separate schools or separate place. But this one I'm still using the same polytechnic, but because they don't actually meet each other and they don't study together, then that's I think relevant to this study, don't you think?
Okay. So how did you choose one as a control and the other one as experimental? You need to explain that. Yeah. So
Okay.
who are going to be sample? I'm sorry. Who are going to be the control group and who are going to be the experimental group? So you need to explain. But I don't know, Doctor. I mean, can they be in the same polytechnic just like we are in the same school?
I think maybe if they are from different courses, okay. But if they are taking the same course as if they are in the same school.
Okay.
Actually, they won't meet each other because they are learning different things, although the same IT section, but software and what is it? Networking, they don't learn together actually. It's like biology and physics in USM, they don't meet, although they're in the same faculty.
But they have to go through the same syllabus in your 5 MPU to
Yes, for English, the same syllabus. But still, their classes are not at the same place, in different departments.
So they will have the same topics because
Yes,
English
same
has got
topic
it.
for English.
So you need to uh, describe that, state that in your chapter 3
Okay.
under samples.
And then you need to support your statement with from citation from someone to show that you are doing the right thing.
Correct.
Okay.
Okay. Can I continue, Norlida?
Yeah. Please do.
Okay. I think Puan Norlida covered a lot already. Okay, I think you should have one section here. How are you going to the procedure of carrying out your research? You show down a flow chart on how you start your research step by step, and then you describe. Okay, it will be easier for you for you to explain in detail for every part. Okay, because you have this figure 3.1. Okay, it explains generally, okay, what are you going to do your qualitative part. So the qualitative part, you separate it, the flow chart of doing research for qualitative. What you will do first, you select the students, and then you come up with the module, and then the procedure of doing the qualitative. And then your phase 2 will be features you're doing the phase 2. Okay, the experimental part. Okay, you should give some example of the instrument. What are you going to the content of the thing you are going to impart during the experimental stage? How many weeks are you going to implement your
8 weeks.
8 weeks? So just a summary of what the content of your the real thing, you can put it in appendix, but there should be some example sample in your chapter 3, so that when we read, we have a clear picture of what you're going to do during the experimental stage.
Okay.
Okay, so you will have two groups, Aiman?
Yes, two groups.
One control and one?
One control and one experimental. The experimental will use a FLIPGRID as the intervention, while the control will use the normal LMS platform, which is CDOS. In Polytechnic, we use CDOS.
Okay. I cannot picture how are you going to use FLIPGRID in your experiment while you are doing. It's for my knowledge. I want to know how are you going to do this.
Okay. Wait. I think I can show you the app. Kita stop ni. Okay. Alright. No. Okay. All right. Okay. This is the FLIPGRID page. Okay. First, the lecturer can create these grids. So these grids are private. I have like 6 grids. I have 5 grids over here. So each class have their own grid. Meaning that they cannot see other people's videos or work. They can only focus on theirs. Okay, so for example, for MPU 220531B here, if I click on this, okay, so this is their class, and this would be their work, their assessment that they need to send every week. So one grid is for each week. So let's say the first week I ask them to introduce their friends. So I just click on this. Okay, this is my new friend. So why I choose FLIPGRID? Because when the students want to present something, they need to record their videos. So when they are recording, indirectly they are practicing their presentation skills. So these are the responses from the students. They have to introduce their friends. So all the students has already submitted. For example, this Hari Kumar. Right.
Okay, Iman. Okay,
so,
throughout the 8 weeks that you're going to carry out your experimental, how many students are going to take part?
Okay, that would be my question for today. Before this, I planned to do 30 students in one class, but because of this COVID, they have limited one class to 15 students only. So can I use only 15 students for this research? 15 for control, 15 for experimental.
Okay,
Will that be enough?
My question is, if throughout the 8 weeks, how many videos are they going to come out?
8 videos.
8 videos per person, that means 8 times 15.
Yes, 8 times 15.
And then times
but the thing is, we are not going to evaluate these videos. For this feedback, only students will give marks because they are commenting on their friends' videos and everything. The lecturer's job is just to give marks during the pre and the post test. This intervention is only as a practice for them to boost their confidence level.
Okay.
Not looking at all these videos.
Okay, the student will evaluate their friends' work. Okay. They will be given any rubrics or any short courses on how to evaluate?
Yes, here in FLIPGRID, for the feedback session, feedback features, this teacher can actually customize their own rubric. So here, if you see the grading rubrics here, I've already put in all the things that we use during the pre and the post. So the students only give marks on the articulation, eye contact, feelers, gesture. They're not going to comment on other things because this is the main reason why we are doing all this, to see their confidence level based on these things.
Okay, I think for your sampling, if you have only 15, you will have you will face problem when you do your quantitative analysis. I think for qualitative analysis, no problem. But when you do your quantitative, 15, the number, you have to support you need to give a justification for, let's say you find 15 for this quasi experimental sampling, does it suit your research?
Aiman, how many students do you have basically? So it will be like one class, maybe 15 perhaps. The number, they be broken into two classes, right?
One class 15, so experimental 15, control 15. So altogether 30.
So only 30 students for this semester.
No, this semester we have 10 classes, but since but
can't you take two classes for experimental and two classes
sure.
for control?
Meaning 2 classes for control, 2 classes for experimental. Okay, can.
Yeah, to make
Still we need 30. Okay, sure.
Will you be doing the teaching or you have others?
No, my friends will be teaching them.
You need to include here in your chapter 3 what are the process you be going through before you are doing the experimental.
I
you
think
going to okay.
And also in the control group, how are the lessons going to be carried out? You also need to explain that also. Describe
okay.
it, because then we'll see the difference between the experimental and the control.
Okay.
Okay, I'm just wondering. Okay, have you considered using questionnaire for to get the data on feedback? Why you use only interview?
Yeah, I don't use questionnaire because I think that post and pre-test would be enough for quanti.
Okay. Yeah, to answer the question of effectiveness, right? Yeah.
Sorry, to answer the question?
The question of whether FLIPGRID is effective to improve confidence level. That's when you use the pre and the post. Correct?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. And you measure confidence by looking at the feelers and so on, right? Okay. Now, but the second research question is about what are their
Feedbacks.
problems and the feedbacks and so on, right? Okay, that can also be the data can also be measured from questionnaire. It doesn't have to be from just interview.
Okay.
So I was thinking, but you can discuss this with your supervisor. I was just thinking that you can still give a questionnaire, all those questions that you have, okay, and then you can analyze it quantitatively using those 30 students, 30 participants. All right, and then you choose about only 4 for your interview to triangulate to get more to support the teams and so on, to support the construct. I don't know. I perhaps you can ask your supervisor if you can use quantitative also from via the questionnaire. I don't know.
I thought from the post-test result, I will choose 6 students, 2 from the higher marks and 2 medium and another 2 for the lower marks to be interviewed.
Oh, okay. So you have to explain that how they are being chosen for the interview, right?
I think I've written a little bit. Not there. Okay. I will add on.
Okay. Anything else, Dr. Amin?
Okay, you are going to choose 6 students to interview,
Yes.
Okay, that will be your qualitative research question.
Dr. Sana nak buat tempat sebab nak wanya. Okay.
Okay lah. Kalau nak buat macam tu pun boleh. Kalau rasa nak simplify pun boleh juga. You can just give a questionnaire, is open-ended question. As not 6 lah, more than 6 to answer lah. Then the answer secara written, so you can analyze also. It's up to you. Okay, I have no problem with that. Okay.
You mean more than 6 students to answer the question, the interview question?
Yeah.
If you use questionnaire,
If you use open-ended questionnaire.
Oh, okay.
Uh,
Written lah maksudnya kan.
Okay, I think Iman, okay, dah okay dah cukup, dah banyak dah cakap ni. Cuma you have to make sure that your chapter 1 synchronize with your chapter 2 and 3. Especially your research objective research question. You must synchronize juga dengan how you're going to analyze in chapter 3. Okay? Okay, the tip is in your chapter 3, you have to detail out. You have to assume that we don't know anything about your research, and then you want to explain in detail the process of getting the data.
Okay.
So the missing part all you just put in lah. Okay, and then I think Aiman, this is a very good research. Okay, because I had one student, she did a research on Instagram, and then she published in one of the Q2 article journal, and then her article is cited. Okay. So I think you should do this research very nicely, so that it is potential to be published. Okay.
Okay, Doctor.
It's a very good topic. I Shabas, very good topic.
Thank you. Although there's a lot of things to add on.
No problem, because I think you do this nicely, and then if you have intention to do your PhD, you can expand a bit, so that you can upgrade it to become a PhD later. I hope that you have intention to do your PhD. Okay?
Okay. Bagi Amelia ni dulu.
Okay. Dr. Amelia, good luck.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much, Dr. Amin and Puan Norlida. Anything else? You have been very thorough. I also realize that there are some things that need to be tied up more to make your research better. But this is a learning process, so hopefully that you can change whatever is being asked to change. Okay. I can't seem to move you in the lobby. Can you leave dulu, Aiman, and then
tak payah leave lah, Doktor.
Biar pass lah. Okay lah.
Pass lah.
Okay, so congratulations, you passed your